Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Talha Parkar, and in this video I will be working with 3D maps in Microsoft Excel. So 3D maps are a very good way to show your data, to visualize your geographical data across different categories, subcategories or different fields. So in Microsoft Excel, 3D maps have been available since 2016. The 2016 were, I think they have been 2013, and they were also there in 2016. But with the latest Office 365, they've been upgraded. There have been certain additions in terms of themes, in terms of the different options that are available. So as you can see in my Insert tab, I have the 3D map option in the Tools pane. I have the 3D maps option, which I can then directly access along with my other normal 2D charts. Here I have another maps. This is like a filled map, but we'll be working with the 3D maps specifically. One option that you might need to turn on is you might need to, if you're not able to see the 3D maps option, you can go to your file tab, then go to your more, then go to options, then within options go to add-ins. Where are the add-ins? Here are they. Then come down, go to com add-ins, click on go, and then here you have the Microsoft Power Map for Excel. It is also known as Power Map. In the previous version it is known as Power Map, but here in this version it's represented by 3D maps. So I have a dataset here. It's a normal Superstore dataset, sample dataset available on the internet. I've got order date, ship mode, customer ID, segment, city, state, region, category, subcategory, sales and profits. Very simple dataset, very clean. And what I can do now is I can either convert this dataset into a table by going to insert and then click on table. I can do that, or I can directly go to my insert tab without making this into a table. I can go to 3D map, I can click on the down arrow, and I have the option to open the 3D map. But before I do that, I would want to click on the 3D map over here, and I can directly, these are some tools that I was working on earlier, so let's delete these. And so if you worked with something earlier, it will show you right here. So this is what I was working with earlier, and if you turn this off, let me close this. If you come again, click on the 3D map option, you can delete this from here. And now so we'll have to create a new tour. So firstly, let's have a look at the interface of the 3D maps. So here we have a fields list. This is more like a pivot table. Drag and drop into your different options that you have available here. Then you could close this. You can always turn this on from the fields pane here. You can click on fields pane. Then we have the layer pane, which if I turn it off, these are the options that we have available. So you've got these. Then I've got the tour editor on the left hand side, which again I can turn off from here and I can turn on so that I have more space. Then now what I want to do is I want to go to my layers, and I will go to my data, and I want to visualize my city. So if you go back to the data set, and you see that we have, just let me delete this, we have different cities available here. So let's just convert this into a table, and here we have a lot of cities in the United States, and I think in some other regions as well. Okay, so that's great. Let's come back to the 3D map. Now you have the option. Now that I've got the location in, you have a variety of options available. So for example, I had the city field in my Excel data set. You could have your latitudes, longitudes, X and Y coordinates, country, county, state, province, even the street, even the postal code, the full address, a custom region, or the other option as well. So you've got a variety of options available. It automatically picked up city from my data set. Now height. So for example, this could be visualized by, let's say, the sales or the profit. Let's go with the sales. Now that I have a legend here, I do not need this, so I can click on this and press the delete button. Or if I close if I remove sales from the height, I again click on height, go to add field, click on sales. I also have the option to edit these legends. So how can you see these legends again? If I've deleted it, you can come at the top of the screen, you've got the legends option over here. You click on that, double click on this option, and then you have got a bunch of options, basics of formatting. You've got the font size, font color, font fill, etc, etc, etc. I changed this from into white, etc. You've got a lot of options. So let's delete that. We don't need that right now. And I can again now go to my category, and I could have my sorry, not my ship date, that was a mistake. I could either select my category, my segment, my subcategory, or the ship mode. So let's go with the category. So now if I have a look, you have the zoom in, zoom out button over here. You've got the navigation pane directly over here. You can also directly zoom in via your mouse. And as you can see, for example, let's take a look at the Long Tower. So this is the city of Los Angeles. We can see the sales. We can see for this for office supplies. We can see the sales for technology, and we can see the sales for furniture. Now, along with this, we've also got the option to navigate very smoothly. You can do that. There's no issues in that. Here we have a cluster of these cities. So we've got Dallas, we've got Arlington, we've got Fort Worth. Let's zoom out. Okay. Now, one second. Yeah. So now let's come back to our options over here. In the time pane, I have the option to add a time, add a date range. So I've got my order date, I've got my ship date. So let's say I want to see this entire data by my ship date. I have the option. I could come here. Now you can see a timeline down below, and you also have the option to turn it off and turn it off from here. And here you see a date stamp, date and time stamp. You have the option to turn it off and on from here. And if I click on the play button, it takes me to the entire journey of which city the products were delivered according to what ship date. Now, I also have the option to convert these bar charts, these stacked columns, sorry, not bar charts, these stacked column charts into clustered column charts. So I see a different chart in each city for different categories. For example, here in Farmington, yeah, that's Farmington, I have a separate column, sorry, for technology, category, office supplies, and furniture. Now I also have the option to create a packed bubble chart, and this is how it would look from the top. It looks a bit cluttered, I agree, but then you can come down to the layers option, and you have the option to decrease the size. You could do that, increase or decrease the size. You could decrease the thickness. You could play with the opacity. You could go ahead, change the color for each of the categories that you want. You could decide what values to show. Now let's bring that opacity back, and let's make this back into a normal stacked chart. Now if I come down and if I move my cursor on any one of these columns, why am I saying bars? Columns. You see a tooltip, you see the city, you see the sales, you see the category, and you see the ship date. I have the option to create a customized tool tip. So as I was saying, we will now create a customized tooltip. So for the city of Rapid, you can see the city, sales, category, and ship date. So if you come in the layers option, you come down, and at the bottom you have the option called data card, where you've got this button called customize. Click on that button, and here you can customize data card. Choose data fields for custom tooltip. So let's say I don't want to, you've got different templates as well, so you've got that option. So let's say you want to just see sales, the category, and the ship date. You don't want to see the city. And let's say you don't want to see that ship date stamp. And let's say you don't want to see the city. Okay. So you've got multiple options, multiple templates, 6 templates here. and you can also go back to the default option. So we've gone through the different visualizations that we have. So we've got a heat map as well, and we've got a region chart, but that only works with country and region, and since we're in one country right now, wouldn't make sense to look at it. So let's go back to our stacked column chart. Let's add back that category. Let's have a segment instead of the category, and we've got our ship date. Okay, so we've been through the layers option. You've got the option to increase the height, you've got the option to increase the thickness. You could keep the thickness to minimum, you could pop up the height, or you could increase the thickness. You could lock the current scale so that whenever you move it doesn't change. You've got the option to increase and decrease the opacity, transparency. You've got the option to change the colors, what values to show. Again, you've got the option to customize the tooltip. Now if I close down the layers option, we have the filters option over here, and filters like slicers are very useful while visualizing data, because then you can show a selected field. So now it is always better to give your viewer or customer the option to have some filters in the data set or in your visualization. Now we've got these data sets, and let's say I want to see my data, I want to see the filter option by my region, or let's say by my ship mode. Okay, because we'll having a look at the ship date. Now when I click on first class, it shows me only the areas where the goods were delivered by first class. When I click on same day, it shows me goods delivered on the same by the ship mode, which was same day. On the same day we've got second class, and then we've got standard class. Similarly, I could take this out. I could add a filter called region. I could just see for my central, I could just see for my east, I could just see for my south, I could just see for my west region. Now again, you've got the option to add more than one filter. So let's say I want to add my region and my ship mode. So I want to see for my central, standard class, or second class. Let's do that. Now you've got the option to add another filter as well. Let's say you want to see a subcategory. So you just want to look at art and binders, so you can do that as well. So you've got the option to add multiple filters, which I'm going to take out now. I don't need them right now. Let's keep that. Let's not use it. Let's keep it. So you've got the option to add filters as well. So we've been through the data types, we've been through location, height, which could be a value, a category, to bifurcate to cluster the column chart. We've got filter. Let's turn this off right now, minimize that. We've got the layer option, which deals with the thickness, opacity, size, to customize tooltip, etc. Now let's come back to the main fields pane here. So now we've got options called play tour, wherein you can just click on this and it will just play the entire visualization for you. You can press escape to go back. You've got the drop down over here. You can do that from beginning or from current scene. So for example, if you're here, you can do that from current scene, so it'll just show you from that particular point of time. You could import this as a video, as a presentation. You could add a soundtrack to this. You could capture the screen. I could capture the screen. Once it's captured, once you click on that capture screen, you could come to your PowerPoint and you could paste. So you see this visualization. You could work with design ideas in PowerPoint to effectively visualize it. You can then create scenes. Now what scenes do is they enable, for example, if I go to scene options, I can give this entire 10-second scene a name. You could increase that duration. Let's make it 45 seconds. Let's give this Superstore data 3D map. Okay, you can transition, you can give some effects, you could add an effect to this. Let's say I want to go do the dolly. I don't know what it'll do. Effective distance. You can customize the start and the end date. You can customize the speed. You can change the map type from a world map to a new custom map, which is more like a flat map. So you've got that option as well. You could give that a name. You could work with the min, max, the scale, the offset. So this is what a custom map would look like, but I would not like this. I would like to go back to my world map. Okay, here we are. Okay, my fields have gone. So the Control Z option does not work in this. No, it does work. But then I can't go back to what I had earlier. So again, I'll have to select my segment, and I'll have to select my, not my segment, my height would be my profit, my category would be my ship mode. Here I have my, not my ship mode, let's have my segment in there, and for the time we had the ship date. And you could delete this legend. Okay, you could play the store. So let's go back to settings and let's make this a world map. And here we are, back to our original data. Okay, now we've also got the option to change the theme. So you've got multiple theme options over here. You've got the dark theme. I like this one. This is quite luminescent. You've got brownish theme. You've got these. So you've got multiple options to explore with. You've got a black and white option. You can work with whatever you like. Let's stick to a luminescent right now. I know you can't see the different categories, but I don't know, I just like this one. And always you have the option to refresh your data. So for example, if I have a look at New York City, the sales is 13,600, 1,36,000. So if I go back to my data set, and if I go down to New York City, and I just select that, and if I change the sales amount, for example, if I bump up the sales or do anything, if I add an extra column, what would happen is eventually if I come back, click on refresh, this map will get updated. You can add shapes if you want to do that. You can add a text box explaining what this map would visualize, etc. So eventually, finally, this is how it would look if I click on play tour and I click on play tour from beginning. So this is how it would visualize the entire 3D map. This is how you could show it to a customer as well. Also, if you don't like this theme, let's go back to the original theme, which was this one, not this one, it was this one. Also, you could add map labels so that you have the names of cities and countries. So you put that option as well. And you could find the location directly. And that's about it. That's how a 3D map works. I've given you an entire tour of the 3D map. I hope this helped you. Stay tuned for more content on Excel, Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, and Microsoft PowerPoint. I hope you learned something new. Thank you.